So let me give a brief overview of this ODT, and let me open the URL. So basically, this is our migration environment, and I'll just show you the demo for here. And in this user preference, we'll be able to see the database that is connected to it. So here we have the offshore migration, and I have given the connection details also. So we'll just check one on one. So what is that? Let me.
अभी यूजर नेम पासवर्ड दे रहे अभी तो एक्सेस
I'm sorry. Yeah. So these are some of the customizations that we have been doing for our project. So those tables have the what to say, has a prefix like suffix of underscore custom to it. So when we try to do our customization to the kernel RAD, we'll always include a table saying the underscore custom to it. So, and the DDL will also be following the same. So I have given a sample of this DDL. So when we try to create a table, we need to create it as underscore custom. And on creation of the table, we need to have the third character as Z. And for the view of this, we'll also have the third character as T. And synonym will also be created for the same table, where we have the fourth character as yes. So this is how the DDL should be. And this will be keeping test dot DDL file, and will be running it in our database. So based on this, we'll be getting the creation of the table. And for our RAD, we'll be using the STTMS, that is the synonym, will be used in the table data source. Mhm. Come to here, like we have seen, like first we'll add the DDL in the data source, and then we'll just create a data block to it. And once these are all the steps that we follow usually, right? Like, should I need to go through it again, or you have the overview of it? Like the process of uploading the table in the data source, and then creating the data block for it, and likewise attaching it to the screen, and we'll be giving the field set to it, like which place we need to have it in our screen. So these were all like taught in the training level, right? Should I need to explain, or is it all good?
we have an idea.
Okay, okay. So like this one is our customization. So here we have this table, and we have the respective fields attached to it, and here we have given underscore custom to it. Mm. So these tables were brought into data blocks, and here are some of the fields. These are like the cache limit fields that have been used, and which have been brought into the main screen of it. So we can view it in the CVS main itself. So these were the fields that is from the custom KYC, customer KYC custom. So in order to like on unlock, when we want to do a modify, like when the field needs to be editable on unlock. So for that, we'll just click on the amendables and click on the particular block that we need, and we'll just update the flag as amendable yes. So on doing this, we'll able to get the flag being editable in the unlock level. And likewise, we also have the label where we'll be fetching the missing labels, and then what to say, giving the labels to it, right? These are all known facts to it. Mm. And on generation, we will usually click on the hook package where it includes the custom for both. And in the metadata, we can remove the gateway details and function parameters, which is not much required. And on generation, we will be getting the packages like what and all we usually get. We usually get the RAD XML, SPC, SQL, JS, INC, and UI XML. So these are the files that we usually get. Try to remove these missing labels also, like on fetching the missing labels. We can also remove all these things. And you guys have the script bat file, right, for running the INCs? Or shall I share it to you? Like usually for running the INCs, we'll be, instead of running it one by one, we'll be running a script file where it stores all the location path, and that particular script.txt file will be deploying it in the
We have that.
you have done it. Okay. So similarly, same wise, in our particular DB, we'll just do the same deployment as well. Like we usually don't what to say deploy the custom SPC and SQL, since most every customization will be happening in the custom packages. We won't usually deploy whenever we do a screen changes. We don't deploy the custom SPC and SQL, since there'll be some other validations done by some other teammates will also be existing, right? So it will override when we do a deployment. So we usually do the SPC main, SQL main, and INCs. And in the server level, we will be uploading it in the script and UI XML. So and usually try to clear the cache whenever doing the upload, because since it sometimes doesn't get overridden the new files that we are deploying, right, in this JS files. Try to clear the sys cache file. So this will help us in the like it just avoids some issues in the later stage. Um, so coming to the, like, do you know the flow of the custom package, like how it gets called? Any idea on it?
No.
Okay, so yeah, first we usually deploy the main package, right? So in the main package, we have the calls. That is called the hook calls. We'll be calling the kernel package as well as the custom package. So for example, when we, like, there are default functions that are there in the main package that is generated by the RAD itself. So in one of, for example, in the main package, it will call the kernel. So the kernel package is also get called, and the custom package also gets called in it. Yeah. So this is how the flow goes. A kernel package is mostly the changes done by the engineering team, and the custom package, we will be doing the customization to it, like adding a validation, so adding certain errors to it, or what to say, few validation need be checked, can be done in the custom package. So in the custom package, we have certain default functions, like you might have seen it earlier, like the pre-check, mandatory post-check, default and validate, upload DB, query and all will be having. So pre and post are basically what to say, there are like the changes that needs to be done before, that is pre function, and changes that need to be done after the default validation, uh, it just comes under the post. So usually our validations will be coming under post, default, and validate, but not in general. For check mandatory, we can say that it is the first level of validation before taking any actions. Likewise, in the default and validate, will be the call goes from the kernel to custom. So based on that, it will does the validation to it. Likewise, in the upload DB, it is for DML operation. Like doing the insert, update, deleting, all these operation that needs to be done for the corresponding data sources. This is for upload DB. And for query, what we can say is that when we do the execute query operation, a certain validation needs to be done on it. So those things can all be handled in this particular functions. So this is how the default function we get use of it. So every time we do a validation, we always do it in the custom package. We never touch the main package or the kernel package. So always our validation needs to be done in this particular area. So likewise for this this STD KYC is actually KYC maintenance screen. So here are like some of the validation that have been done here, like that has been already done here. So when the customer category, like when it is a corporate customer, it will look for what to say. The last review date cannot be greater than the application date. So it just does the validation based on the what the values that we input on the screen. So these are all the work variable. So this one is the value that we get it from the what to say in the UI. We'll be getting the value of the customer type as corporate. So when it is corporate and when the last review date is not null and also it is greater than the application date, this error will get thrown. So based like that, we'll be doing the validation in our custom packages. So that is how we do the validation. So in case once we do the deployment, we usually do some checks on it, like whether our deployment had some issues or not. So for that, we have certain queries. Mm. This one is the user object table helps us to check whether the package is in invalid state or invalid state. So what is that? Is that before doing the deployment, what we usually do is we'll check the count of this particular query. So when we get the count of this after the deployment, we'll also check the count again. So when the count matches, there is no issue that is caused due to our deployment. So in case if there is account increase in the user object table, we will run a compile script where it compiles all the packages that are in invalid state and it will compile it into the valid state. So for this, we will be using this query as well. And to get to know the list of table that is linked to a particular function ID. So for the STD KYC maintenance screen, we have a number of tables attached to it. Every time we can't get and load the RAD and check for it. So for that, we can look into this where it just shows all the table name to it. So whenever we have an issue in the package, we'll be checking like what is causing the issue. So we'll be looking into these tables as well. So coming to the debugging part of it. mm, So usually in this part, we have our debug logs in it where it is stored in the username and also the branch name. So here wiki 01 is the user ID and 001 is the branch. So here we'll be getting the logs. So when we try to like after deployment, we usually do one sanity. Sanity is basically how the system works, like the screen works properly or not after our development activity. So we'll try to do the save, unlock, or the execute query. And all these operation just like we'll just test the screens whether it is having some issues or not. Sometimes we'll be using it to testing our validations as well, whether the certain error that we saw earlier, right, whether it gets to showed on the particular scenario or not, we'll be checking it. And also what to say, mm, how do we usually debug, like whenever we face an error, like a certain error description, like error code and error description comes in a dialog box. Like you might have seen it, right? Any idea on the error dialog box in the UI? Like maybe on doing a certain operation. you might getting like it doesn't allow you to save. Instead of that, the system will throw an error message. Like anyone of you have seen it or?
Yes, if we leave some mandatory field blank, we cannot save something.
Yeah, it just shows the error code and error description. So usually these error codes and all get saved here in ERTB messages. So here we can see the list of issues like error code and error description that we can see. And also for debugging, what we do is like we'll just take the logs and then look for the particular error code that is there. Okay, when we find the error code, we'll just scroll back and then we'll just look into the flow how it goes from the package to package. So it when we see the flow of it might at some point it will say some error saying that maybe it is a null insert or a unique constraint or some issue that is caused by our custom validation or some unhandled exception might be there. These things and all we can just check it through log. That so I think I have a sample log like this. Mhm. So we can also check for this OVP case. This is one of the uh, package also. So in the current document, we might have multiple OVPKs. So we'll be checking what are the issues one by one. The ATM account should not be null. This one is an override message. So we can just check whether it is override or error message based on the ERTB error message table. We can see whether it is E or O. So here the type has been given, right? E or O. E means error, O means it's override. So you don't have to worry about it. Likewise, we'll be having multiple errors, so we'll be debugging it one by one. And most of the errors will be override message. At last, it doesn't allow you to save. No, it might be due to some unhandled exceptions or some issue that gets thrown here. For in this case, I was just getting unhandled exception. So I was just, when I looked into the logs, it just mentioned like in the one of the custom package, there has been what to say, cannot insert null. So it has been the branch code has been the value has been null, so it doesn't allow you to insert into since it is a PK value private key. So based on that, we'll try to look into this package and particular line, and then we'll be looking what is the error that is causing or what fix that we need to be done. We'll just do the analysis based on that. Okay, and this is how we usually do the debugging part. So entire flow gets logged in this log. So we'll be checking it based on the error codes.
Hi Vaishnavi, I
Yeah.
wanted to ask one thing.
Yeah.
During override, we need a manual intervention to authorize it, right? Otherwise, it won't move forward. And when the status code is error, it won't move forward, right?
For override message, we don't
Yeah.
have any issues. We can
We
just accept and proceed forward.
okay,
For
so we
error,
need to authorize it, right?
we don't have to authorize. We can just accept the error code and the accept the dialog box. It will close and then we can save it, proceed forward.
And if
So
we get and if we have an error code as E, it won't even have that option to accept, right? It won't move
no, no,
forward.
it won't move forward. We should
Okay,
solve the error or just analyze what is happening there, and then we can proceed forward.
right. Thank you.
Mm, yeah. Mhm. So, do you guys have any other doubt? This is just overview of the RAD and the debugging because since we already had the training on RAD, right? So I just gave an overview of it. And the deployment part is as per the same. Since we have the new environments, the details alone will be different. But hence, all the other parts will be same. The Win SAP will be saving the JS and UI XML, and for DB, we'll be doing the INC, SPC, SQL. So our main takeaway is that we won't usually deploy the custom packages. So if it is a new screen, then we proceed forward with deploying the custom packages since there is no existing package for others to do the validation, right? So in that case, we can just proceed with the usual flow. INC, main SPC, main SQL, custom SPC, and custom SQL. Okay. You guys have any other doubts on it? Anything you want to know, or anything in the RAD also, or in the debugging?
Where can we find that log in our local system library if you want to see?
Can you come again?
Where we can see that log details.
Log details. Yes. So the logs are all stored in a particular path, okay, in the same place where we do the deployment. In one more folder ahead, it will be having a backend debug where all the logs are getting stored. So for our particular user, we'll be looking forward and then taking the logs out of it.
What will be my interest amount?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
So in JS UI XML, we'll be placing all our front-end units. So here in JS files, and then here XML files will be placing it. Anything specific you guys want to know, or? You can ping me if you have any doubts regarding it also, okay? If we don't have any other doubts, we can just close the session. So if you have any doubts later also, you can ping me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank
Ashwini.
you.